Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Ukraine to get Patriot and HIMARS missiles in first US weapon supply under new mechanism. Aid to be first use of the PURL mechanism in which Ukraine's allies help pay for weapons. King Charles and Trump hail UK-US special relationship in state banquet speech. Trump says the word special does not begin to do it justice. US to invest £150 billion in UK, promising thousands of jobs. 3 police officers killed, 2 injured in Pennsylvania shooting. Police kill shooter in one of the deadliest days for Pennsylvania police this century. And India's ace athlete Neeraj Chopra is set to play in the Javelin throw final at the World Athletics Championship on Thursday. And on to the details now. Ukraine will get missiles for Patriot air defense systems and HIMARS rocket launchers in the first batch of weapons sent under a new funding program agreed upon by the US and Ukraine's European allies. Well, the Ukraine has received over $2 billion in financing for US-produced weapons via the NATO-led Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List, or PURL. President Volodymyr Zelensky expects total committed funds to reach $3.5 billion in October. Well, the NATO allies hope to provide $10 billion in arms for Ukraine. HIMARS are ground-launched rocket-propelled artillery that have been crucial to Ukraine's fight with Russia. Also, US President Donald Trump has long been critical of the billions of dollars the United States has spent on military aid for Ukraine. The PURL initiative offers a way for Europe to pay for the weapons and the US to send them.
We received more than $2 billion from our partners under PURL program. During October, I think we will receive an extra funding. I think we will have in total around $3.5 to $3.6 billion. Regarding the first 2 packages, each worth $500 million. I understood you asked what those packages will include. I will not disclose all the details, but they will definitely include missiles for Patriot and HIMARS systems.
Moreover, amidst growing tensions in Russia-Ukraine conflict, Denmark said that it will, for the first time, acquire long-range precision weapons, citing the need for deterrence capabilities in light of the threat from Russia.
For the first time, Denmark will build up military capacity in the form of long-range precision weapons. This is a paradigm shift in Danish defense policy. With these weapons, the armed forces will be able to hit targets at long range and, for example, also defeat enemy missile threats. This is a type of weapon that we do not have in Denmark.
Well, NATO forces put on a display of firepower in Poland on Wednesday with tanks, helicopters and jets taking part. The exercise, code-named Iron Gate, coincide with the joint Russian-Belarusian Zapad drills across the border in Belarus. The Polish military said the exercise is part of a wider series of drills called Iron Defender, focused on the ability to defend Poland in the event of an attack from the east. Iron Gate featured both Polish and allied troops, including the US Army's V Corps, which has its forward headquarters in Poland. And world leaders will gather in New York for next week for a UN General Assembly. Before the General Assembly speeches begin on September 23rd, leaders will gather a day before for the summit hosted by France and Saudi Arabia that aims to build momentum towards a 2-state solution between Israel and the Palestinians. Well, in all, the high-level week will be dominated by Trump's return to the rostrum war in Gaza and Ukraine, rising Western recognition of Palestinian statehood, and nuclear tensions with Iran. Speaking ahead of the start of high-level week, UNGA President Annalena Baerbock underscored the importance of the UN Charter, the organization's founding document, and the need for reform and greater inclusivity. And US President Donald Trump hailed the eternal bond between the United States and Britain in a Windsor Castle state banquet toast on Wednesday. Trump kicked off his historic second state visit to Britain on Wednesday amid unprecedented pomp, intense security, technology investments and protest as King Charles and other royals welcomed the nation's closest ally. While Trump and his wife Melania were hosted by the King at Windsor Castle, where he was treated to the full array of British pageantry from a carriage procession and a lavish banquet. Trump praised British heritage and shared values as King Charles hosted him during his historic second state visit. A record-breaking £150 billion package of US investment into the UK has been announced during US President Donald Trump's state visit. The UK government is calling this the largest commercial deal of its kind and expects it to create more than 7,600 high-quality jobs across the country. Also, a large majority of the money will come from Blackstone, the world's largest alternative asset manager, which has unveiled plans for a £90 billion investment in the UK over the next decade. And Pennsylvania governor and police officials briefed media after a shooting in the Cordova Township, Pennsylvania. Briefing the media, State Police Commissioner Christopher Paris said 3 law enforcement officers were killed and 2 others were injured on Wednesday. According to the officials, investigations are underway and that there was no ongoing threat to the public.
I can confirm that the shooter is dead. I can confirm that there were 5 law enforcement officers who were shot today. 3 fatally, 2 that were transported here to Wellspan in York. They are currently listed in critical but stable condition. There are simply no words that I can offer to assuage the grief that this community has experienced and unfortunately will continue to experience. The grief will be unbearable, but we will bear it.
Well, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro was discharged from the hospital on Wednesday, where he had been admitted due to vomiting, dizziness and low blood pressure a day earlier. Well, Brasilia's DF Star Hospital stated Bolsonaro's health condition improved, but he will continue to receive follow-up care. Bolsonaro's doctor, Claudio Birolini, confirmed the test revealed 2 skin lesions were an early form of skin cancer, specifically squamous cell carcinoma. He confirmed that the skin lesions have been removed, but regular checkups are necessary to monitor for any new lesions. Bolsonaro was sentenced to 27 years in prison by a Supreme Court panel for conspiring to stage a coup following his loss in the 2022 election. And plane maker Embraer stated that its plants in Brazil were operating normally on Wednesday despite the announcement of an indefinite strike for higher salaries by union metal workers. The Metal Workers Union in São José dos Campos, home to Embraer's headquarters and main jet production, went on strike over the company's refusal to grant a real wage increase. Well, the Sind Metal Union stated that FISP, which represents the aerospace sector, proposed only a 5.05% wage increase based on inflation, along with reduced job stability for injured or ill workers. The union rejected the offer and demanded an 11% wage increase. As a result, a strike notice was approved. Embraer reported that it was surprised by the strike as negotiations were still ongoing. And Cuba has called on the United Nations to stop the U.S. from increasing military presence in the Caribbean, warning it could lead to the war. Well, Cuba's Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez slammed U.S. strikes on Venezuelan boats and called the drug trafficking excuse ridiculous. He blamed harsh U.S. sanctions for Cuba's worst economic crisis in decades, with shortages and inflation hitting hard. The UN has repeatedly urged the U.S. to lift sanctions, but tensions continue to grow, especially with Venezuela, Cuba's closest ally.
A la comunidad
The interception and destruction of boats, the extrajudicial killing of civilians, the interception of fishing vessels and aggressive actions by the United States in the Eastern Caribbean create a dangerous situation that threatens regional peace and security. I reiterate Cuba's unconditional solidarity with President Nicolas Maduro, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and the civil-military union of its people.
Well, Argentina's lower house of Congress voted to overturn President Milei's vetoes on increased funding for public universities and pediatric hospitals, marking a major setback to his austerity agenda. Well, to finally overturn President Milei's vetoes, the Senate must also vote to override them. Milei claimed the laws would harm fiscal stability, but lawmakers opposed his austerity measures. Also, the move follows a massive protest in Buenos Aires, where tens of thousands demanded more funding for universities and pediatric care. The defeat adds to Milei's mounting challenges, including falling popularity, a corruption scandal, and a recent electoral loss. And Chile's presidential election kicked into high gear on Wednesday as leading campaigns officially launched ahead of a November 16 polls. Left-wing Jonat Jara and conservative Jose Antonio Cast, who lost the last runoff against current President Gabriel Boric in 2021, are top contenders, frequently trading leads and clashing in the first debate among 8 candidates. 8 candidates are in the race, including Evelyn Matei from the Independent Democratic Union Party. Matei is currently polling third at 18% in pollster Cadent's latest numbers released on Sunday. Security remains a sore point with many voters. If no candidate receives more than 50% of the votes on November 16th, there will be a runoff on December 14th. And Venezuela's Interior Minister Cabello claims the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, staged a false flag operation to discredit the country. Well, on September 17th, Venezuelan forces seized 3,680 kilos of cocaine, a speedboat fuel, satellite gear and mobile phones, arresting 4 suspects. According to Cabello's claims, one detainee, Levy Enrique, had ties to the DEA, and the group was instructed to carry Venezuelan ID cards to frame the nation. As tensions continue to rise with the U.S., Cabello further alleged the truck bust was a deliberate attempt to target Venezuela, accusing Washington of using anti-narcotics efforts as a cover for aggression. Well, Bangladesh is grappling with a severe outbreak of dengue fever, with hospitals across the country struggling to cope with the rising number of patients. Health authorities have reported a surge in cases over the past few weeks, particularly in Dhaka and other major cities. The Directorate General of Health Services on Tuesday issued a 12-point directive asking hospitals to prioritize dengue treatment as hospitalizations and deaths from the infection were rising across the country. The DGHS has confirmed that at least 156 people have died and 39,192 others have been admitted with the mosquito-borne viral disease this year. Since January, officials warn that the situation may worsen as the monsoon season provides ideal breeding conditions for the Aedes aegypti mosquito, the primary carrier of the virus. Hospitals are facing pressure with many wards overcrowded, forcing patients to share beds or receive treatment in corridors. Authorities have intensified awareness campaigns and mosquito control drives, urging citizens to eliminate stagnant water around homes and workplaces. And in Western Japan's Ehime Prefecture, foreign residents joined a local event where they rode oversized wooden hangiri buckets on the water. The activity, held in Masaki town, aimed to introduce foreigners to local traditions. 15 participants from 10 countries tried maneuvering the giant tubs, with many tumbling into the water, sparking laughter and fun. The Lanka Art Exhibition is being celebrated in Indonesia's Banjarmasin, South Kalimantan, as part of the Cultural Park Works meeting. The showcase features work by 95 artists from regions across Indonesia. The 4-day program includes a visual arts exhibition, cultural parade, dialogue sessions, and art performances from 21 cultural park representatives. Iraq's The Hawk is set to host the 18th Grape and Honey Festival, celebrating the harvest and supporting local farmers. The 2-day event will showcase grapes, natural honey, and other crops from around 50 farmers and beekeepers. Known for its fertile soil and rich produce, Duhok remains a leading hub for grape production in the Kurdistan region. The Indonesian Embassy in Bangkok marks 75 years of Indonesia-Thailand ties with Indonesia Culture Night 2025. The event featured traditional music and dances. Over 200 Indonesian artists performed for 1,000 guests, including the senior Thai officials. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. India celebrates Yatri Seva Divas with health camps, blood donation and cultural festivities at airports nationwide. PM Modi's Digital India transforms 140 crore lives from remote villages to smart cities. And home turned into a cricket museum in Dubai steals the spotlight.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, Dubai's iconic Burj Khalifa lit up on Wednesday night with images of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to mark his 75th birthday. The world's tallest building illuminated the skyline with portraits of the Indian leader and birthday messages symbolizing the strengthening partnership between India and the United Arab Emirates. Special prayers were held across Sri Lanka to mark the 75th birthday of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, reflecting interfaith goodwill towards the Indian leader. The cross-faith ceremonies highlighted the warmth of people-to-people ties between India and Sri Lanka and the love and respect towards the Indian Prime Minister. Also, the spiritual leader of Catholic Church, Pope Leo XIV, prayed for healthy and long life of Prime Minister Modi. And India's Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu launched the initiative of Yatri Seva Divas at airports across the country on Wednesday. The occasion was marked with free medical checkups and health awareness campaigns at the airports, with a special focus on women travelers under the Swasth Nari Sashakt Parivar Abhiyan. The initiative underscores the government's continuous efforts to make air travel more seamless, pleasant and passenger-friendly. Well, the celebrations also extended to community-driven activities such as a blood donation camp, eye check-up for taxi drivers and a tree plantation drive under the theme Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam campaign of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Delhi International Airport too celebrated Passenger Service Day with great enthusiasm across its terminals. The day coincided with the 75th birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and turned Delhi Airport into a festive hub. Passengers were welcomed with flowers, entertained with cultural performances and encouraged to share feedback to further improve services. Yatri Seva Divas reflects the government's vision of placing passengers at the heart of aviation, turning airports into true symbols of hospitality, efficiency and inclusivity. Well, from remote villages to high-tech cities, from shopkeepers to startups, India's digital journey in the past decade has been nothing short of revolutionary. At the heart of this transformation is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Digital India, a vision that has reshaped how 140 crore Indians live, learn, work and dream.
In 2014, India had about 25 crore internet connections. Today, that number has grown to nearly 97 crore. Internet data, once among the world's costliest, is now the cheapest in the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has often said that Digital India is not just a government program, it is a people's movement.
when our Prime Minister Modi ji spoke about his dream of making India the global drone hub by 2030. That inspiration gave birth to our company Drone Anatomy. What truly enabled this journey was the ecosystem that had been built. Supportive policies, encouragement for domestic manufacturing, and most importantly, the digital infrastructure that made doing business faster, simpler, and more transparent.
UPI now processes more than 100 billion transactions annually, accounting for nearly half of the world's real-time digital payments. Through direct benefit transfer, 44 lakh crore rupees has been sent directly to the beneficiaries, cutting out middlemen and saving the exchequer nearly 3.5 lakh crore rupees. Small businesses too are reaping benefits. ONDC, the Open Network for Digital Commerce, has crossed 200 million transactions, helping small shopkeepers compete with e-commerce giants. The government's GEM platform has seen sales over 1 lakh crore in just 50 days, empowering 22 lakh sellers, including thousands of women-led MSMEs. India's digital public infrastructure is now a global model. Aadhaar, the world's largest digital ID system, is used for everything from banking to welfare. CoWIN managed the world's biggest vaccination drive, issuing 220 crore vaccination certificates. DigiLocker now has 54 crore users, storing over 775 crore digital documents. India today is among the top 3 startup ecosystem in the world, with over 1.8 lakh startups and more than 110 unicorns. The India AI mission, with an outlay of 10,282 crore, making India a hub for affordable AI research and innovation. As the nation celebrates Prime Minister Modi's birthday, his legacy shines through India's digital revolution, a revolution that connects people, powers progress, and position India as a global leader. Tapush Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
And on to some sports news now. India's ace athlete Neeraj Chopra has qualified for the javelin throw final at the World Athletic Championship in Tokyo on Wednesday. Defending champion Chopra hurled the javelin to 84.85 meters in his first attempt to breach the qualification mark of 84.50 meters. The final will take place on Thursday, where double Olympic medalist Chopra will chase the third medal of the championships. India's Sachin Yadav also managed to squeeze into the final after finishing 10th with a commendable 83.67 meter throw. Well, a cricket museum in Dubai is becoming a center of attraction for fans across the globe. One man has turned his lifelong passion into a living archive. Shyam Bhatia, businessman and cricket superfan, has built a private museum that celebrates the game's greatest moments and legends. Abhishek Mahajan's special report from Dubai.
This is Shyam Bhatia's Cricket Museum in Dubai, a place where cricket's rich history comes alive. From autographed bats and rare photographs to books dating back more than a century, step inside Shyam Bhatia's home in Dubai and you're walking into cricket history. It all began in Sharjah when Sunil Gavaskar handed Shyam Bhatia his bat during the Cricketers Benefit Fund series. From that one gesture grew the idea of a cricket museum. What began as a personal collection is now a full-fledged museum.
In 1981, when Bukhatir started CBS series, Indian teams, Pakistan teams coming, but I knew a lot of Indian team players before from India, and like Ajit Wadekar, Sunil Gavaskar, Salim Durrani, Raj Singh Dungarpur, so I knew them before coming to Dubai.
Every corner here has a story to tell, and these cricket walls narrate cricket history from 1877 to the present day, featuring heroes of the game. Among the rarest treasures, a limited edition 1983 World Cup opus, bat signed by Sir Donald Bradman and gear used in World Cup matches.
One thing, at the moment I'm proud of it, painting autographed by all captains of ICC winning World Cup. That's very dear to my heart now.
Shyam Bhatia's passion has earned him international recognition, including a nomination for the Sports Imprint Award from Dubai Sports Council. It's not a commercial space. Visitors are allowed on request. School children, fans and cricketers often drop by. For him, the idea is simple: to keep cricket spirit alive, especially in a city that has become a second home for the game.
A labour of love and a reminder that cricket isn't just played on the field. Sometimes its greatest innings are preserved in a memory and in museums like this one. It's a living archive of the game. With cameraman Kumar Datta, this is Abhishek Mahajan in Dubai for DD India.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.